Okay guys, we are here, we are in the game, in the draft. Everybody managed to connect as well this time around. I was a little bit scared for a second, but it's gonna be Join Dota League Season 3, if you don't know yet. Bened+5 versus Team Traels in Game 2 of a 2-game series. We are HeflaTV, I'm Culture, and joined by Mike Lores for this game.
Someone's car alarm is going off. I don't know if that's audible to anyone. I'm
It's not,
hopefully
it's
it's
not.
not. Okay, good. Because people are retarded and they're always setting off car alarms or calling the police or something. It's terrible. But as long as it's not audible, that's completely fine.
So now we're in the draft. The bans so far, definitely nothing too surprising. It never is really. Oh god, I just wish the huge patch would come by now.
Yeah, I want to see the patch. It's like, well, we added techies and also we added Legion Commander, Earth Spirit to Captain's mode or Broodmother or one of those heroes.
Yeah, it would be so sick just to see new heroes in Captain's Mode. I think it was you yourself that said that even if the heroes wouldn't be changed too much, we would just love to see new heroes added into the pool.
I
So,
don't know if I said that, but I definitely agree with that.
I mean, somebody said it in the Hefla TV chat at some point. I mean, I guess you said like you just want to see new heroes added into the pool. You didn't say that you don't care about the changes, I guess. I'm putting words in your mouth.
Don't do that, please. I like my mouth to be empty.
Well,
We
anyway.
should walk away from this.
Yes, I think so too. But Skyrim Mage, the first pick for Bened+5 and Team Trials. There's even no chance to go for Faceless Void this game, which was ignored in the last game, at least at the start. So, what is available? Brewmaster, I guess. Viper as well. Skyrim Mage, not Skyrim Mage, the Shadow Shaman I wanted to say, but Shadow Shaman, Brewmaster. Skyrim Mage is good against the Brewmaster at the very least, of course.
Yeah, the silence makes it difficult for Brewmaster to get off his combo, and Scarth Mage's silence. I don't know exactly how fast it comes out, but it seems like it comes out like really quickly, like up there with Hex, which has instant cast time. Silence takes a little bit. I'm not exactly sure how much cast time there is, but definitely enough to shut down a Brewmaster before he actually has enough time to cast his split. So it's pretty much one of the best tools you could possibly get outside of getting a Chronosphere or a Black Hole on those Brewlings.
Yeah, it's definitely something that can be so devastating against the Brewmaster, but man, Bened+5 now. What are their options? I guess Viper is one of the heroes that is most commonly played. Earthshaker, of course, with Skyrim Mage is definitely another one. Wraith King, a potential pick here. It's hard to say. You can still go for just something else completely. Death Prophet is one option.
Well, they did prioritize the Viper and Wraith King really highly in the last game, so this scenario, the Viper is still good, so I wouldn't be surprised to see that, but it's going to be that Death Prophet that you mentioned. So we're going to be seeing a little bit of a different game as opposed to what we saw last. And well, hopefully it's still that roller coaster because that's what everyone wants to see. But with pushing Death Prophet, it can definitely be like that if you get a good push early on, then kind of stall out till later.
Yeah, it's definitely nice to have at least the option to go for push if you want, as well as the Death Prophet silence is actually going to be really good against the Brewmaster as well. Even potentially stopping Shadow Shaman or anybody in a fight. When the silence of Death Prophet is maxed out, the cooldown is so damn low on it, the duration is pretty long, and just the range, the AoE of it is ridiculously strong, to be honest.
Yeah, if you have vision of the Brewmaster, you could surprise him with the silence before he could surprise you with the blink. It's rare, but it is feasible. As a second ban phase, now blasting out a whole bunch of heroes. Jakiro going to get the boot. Often we don't see that. Enigma and Earthshaker and Viper also going to be a very support-heavy banning phase now, as both sides do have one support, but going to still look for the other. So we're probably going to see some weirder supports here.
Yeah, I mean, it's always nice to see some. They do have one support already as it is, so it might be just something like a Rubik possibly, but they go for a Tinker Team Trials it is. And Bened+5, they still have 3 picks to just try to counter it, at least to some extent.
Yeah, they could go for something like a Storm Spirit, get anyone with a lot of mobility. Something like a Clockwork would be pretty nice for them, actually. If they could isolate someone in those cogs, then Scarth Mage is going to have a field day with his Mystic Flare. If it's a Tinker, great. If it's anyone else, then that's good too. But I think Clockwork is probably what they're going to be looking towards.
Yeah, I think so at the moment as well. It would just fit their openings, but they go for a Tidehunter. I guess Ravage can catch the Tinker for sure. Last game, Bened+5's Tidehunter was a little bit questionable at times, but I guess when it mattered, the last two fights, he did well enough, so as long as you manage to do that, it's gonna be fine. But Team Trails, they're gonna go for a Mirana as their fourth pick now. It can still be a support one, or might be... Actually, how do they lane this? Does it have to be a support one with a Brewmaster safe lane, or do they think about going aggressive tri-lane, Mirana, Shadow Shaman +1, leaving Brewmaster safe lane, or how?
It'll depend, I think, on how Bened picked their last two. They could go for support or core Mirana with an aggressive tri-lane or just a roaming Mirana. They don't know who they're going to be up against up on top lane. Like, as of right now, it's just Skywrath Mage, and that's it. That's all the information that they have. So they do have a little bit of flexibility. It's going to make the... it's going to be a little bit weird because they do get the first pick after this next ban phase. So they're going to have to decide before Bened+5 decide. So, yeah, it's going to be a little awkward, but it's a Mirana. Like, really, you can't really go wrong with that hero.
Yeah, it's just so versatile all in all, and I just love the Moonlight Shadow. It's such a great spell, and especially ever since its mana cost got reduced, you can use it at will when you're level 6, and you just force your enemy into dust sentries, or if they don't have them, you can either just freely initiate or just save somebody. But Bened+5, they go for an Enchantress, a hero you don't see all that often nowadays. So can they make the Enchantress work? Will the early aggression be enough?
Usually you see the Enchantress being played as a really early game pusher, but I don't really know if that's the best plan for them. I mean, they are going up against a Tinker and a Brewmaster. That's a hard fight if you're an Enchantress. I mean, Untouchable is only going to get you so far with like the Mirana and stuff like that, but there's a lot of burst on the Team Trails side, and if they want to go for early game aggression, they will be met pretty easily. And now that the Enchantress is picked up, the Team Trials side knows that Enchantress, Skywrath Mage, and whatever core Bened+5 are going to be picking up last are most likely going to be the tri-lane. I think they might want to go aggressive with this.
It definitely might be worth considering at the very least, if not just go for it straight out. I mean, at the moment, Bened+5, with their current lineup, they definitely have to just take control early, as Team Trials actually themselves go for a Clockwork. So Bened+5, of course, I don't think they would have had space for one anyway. But with their lanes, or with their heroes that they have at the moment, shutting down the Tinker is gonna be extremely hard, especially if the Clockwork and the Brewmaster are just gonna go straight charge at the front lines. Just power shot, not hook shot, into the power cogs with Brewmaster Primal Split, just creating chaos, and Tinker just rearming and spamming away freely.
Bened+5 are going to have to apply a lot of pressure to this Tinker early on if they really want to have a nice game for themselves. They don't really have that many ways of closing the gap aside from a concussive shot, which is going to come a little bit later. With Enchantress, it is kind of viable if the Tinker is completely out of position. Death Prophet, unfortunately, can only add nuke damage to that. But Bened+5, they need another hero to cap off their lineup. They need someone, I think, in order to take this a little bit to the later stages. I don't really know. They could try to go for something along the lines of that Luna Gyro from last game.
I mean, I guess if they really wanted something that just by pressing R can get some vision on Tinker and potentially kill him, Spectre would be available, but it wouldn't fit with just the style of their lineup that they have the rest of the 4 heroes. I mean, Spectre would give nothing for pushes. All he could do is just slowly split push and join the fights with Haunt, but even that might be a little bit troublesome since Tinker is just going to TP to the lanes and march the machines them down all the time. So Bened+5, just ever since the Enchantress pick, it's like, what are they going to go for? It's going to be a Wraith King, but I mean, Wraith King carry as well. Can he do anything against the Tinker and just the entirety of Team Trials?
I was actually thinking Wraith King, but I dismissed it in my head because there's so much stuff that he has to get through. He has to get through Shadow Shaman disables, he has to get through Drunken Haze, and Split from the Brewmaster, and Laser, and Mirana Leap, and Cogs. That's a lot of stuff to make your Wraith King go through. So he's going to have to get some really nice setup from Bened, from the rest of his team, but the only setup that they really have is Concussive Shot and Ravage. Wraith King is going to really struggle to hit anyone in this game.
Yeah, I mean, that's my concern as well. There's just no way around it. This Wraith King, he might run into some huge issues. Of course, going for an early blink definitely will help in just closing the distance, a gap closer to say. But I'm still a little bit skeptical of how well this Wraith King is going to fare. But I guess if the Enchantress can create enough space early on, and if they get the lead early, they can definitely just try to snowball this out with a high level Death Prophet maybe, for example. We'll see though if they can make that happen for them.
Yeah, this Wraith King, he needs a very fast Blink Dagger and a very fast BKB. when that happens, you probably aren't going to be doing that much damage, so he needs a couple damage items on top of that. So they're going to need to get this Wraith King off to a roaring start if they want to do well in this game, and they also have to kill off a Tinker. And as it stands right now, well, Sasu's going to be playing that Wraith King, and he is geared up as a primary farm role, much to be expected, so they're not going to be running anything too weird. Other heroes on the B5 side, we got Supreme playing the Death Prophet, Black's going to be supporting as the Enchantress, as will Uniden on the Skywrath Mage. Tidehunter is going to be played by Nemiranos once again.
Yep. And for TT, Team Traels up on the Radiant side, DJ Durum will be playing the Mirana, leaving Fury to go on the offlane of the Clockwork this time around, with Yalexen on the Tinker, Yuta Dota playing the Brewmaster, and the last one for them is gonna be Munken up on the Shadow Shaman.
Looks like Clockwork right now is being left alone on top lane. He's going to have a pretty bad time. I mean, versus Skywrath Mage as a solo hero, you're probably expected to be zoned out very heavily, and then Black's has time to either farm for the perfect creep or just farm for gold. Either way, the Clockwork can't really do anything to stop him, and if Sasu does get close enough, he could just Wraith Fire Blast and they could just go to town on this Clock. So I don't expect Clock to be getting that much, and worst comes to worst, he can't even hold the tower unless he gets a lot of points in Rocket Flare.
Yeah, usually you just max out Battery Assault. I guess against this lineup maybe Rocket Flare, but Battery Assault is just such a strong ability. You catch somebody in the cogs and they are more likely than not gonna die. Enchantress is untouchable, won't help him either. Rune battle going on Fury. He's going so deep, he catches Blacks as well. Where's the follow-up? The arrow comes out, it actually might be enough. He doesn't have untouchables, he doesn't have the heal, and he's gonna go down one more right click. Fury, he gets it. He might go down in return if Uniden has enough Arcane Bolts. The first level cooldown a little bit too long.
Cog's level 1 is pretty much the best disable you could ask for at a level 1 skill. 5 seconds where the enemy can't move and you're just free to just go to town on them. Well, TT, they get a nice kill on the Enchantress and it's first blood. It's not the most important hero for them to be killing, but still, getting first blood on your Clockwork, who, as I said before, is going to be having a tough time as he now does pop up some Cogs, get 2 of them to pop, actually, burning some nice mana out from Uniden as well as Sasu. But now the Arcane Bolt harassment is going to continue, and it's never going to stop.
Yeah, and Clockwork actually, I mean, he has the Stout Shield, so it will help out a little bit, but he hit level 2 now, so his base armor actually rose to 2 as well, but his armor definitely isn't the best. At least Skywrath Mage's right click, 44 damage, is just something to laugh at. But Mirana, he's rotating top lane, another Cogs onto Skywrath Mage with the arrow follow-up. Could be just an extremely easy kill, especially now that the Battery Assault is available to the Clockwork.
Arrow's gonna fly, and yeah, I don't see Uniden getting hit with Cogs or anything like that anytime soon. He's a Skywrath Mage, and so that means he's already very, very quick. And then he has Boots as an opener, which means, of course, he has fewer clarities, but yeah, there's no way that this Clockwork is gonna get close. Even though he himself does have Boots, the Skywrath Mage should always play safe enough. And, well, we're going to be waiting for Black's rotation up on top lane, where they can look for more aggression onto Fury. Still, DJ Durham is going to be wandering around, and now Yuden is completely spotted out. The vision up on the top half of the map is almost completely in favor of the Radiant side, as Mirana going to make good on that and look for an arrow in mid.
If you can land it, it can be huge. Level 2 in laser as well for the burst damage if need be. Arrow, it's gonna fly off target though. So nice try, creating some space at the very least for Tinker. So far he's a little bit behind in the last hits, but only a little.
Yeah, you just gotta go for it as Mirana, because even if you miss, you have another arrow available, and you're only level 1 with a level 1 arrow, so what's your alternative to doing this? He's gonna stack Ancients for the Tinker, and he already has gotten 2 up there, so Tinker's gonna have a large infusion of gold later on, assuming B5 don't jack it, and though they do have a Tidehunter, the Tidehunter is nowhere close to being able to steal that many Ancients, so he should be just fine as Fury. He's gonna start chasing down Uniden up top, but looks like it's just gonna be Cogs.
Yeah, I mean, maybe he was hoping to catch him. Actually, Brave Fire Blast in the face, so Sasu was going for some harass off his own. He doesn't have too much mana to work with though, just one more Brave Fire Blast, that's all he has. And usually, actually, oh, with the Cogs they miss, he wanted the mana burn, now he's gonna get stunned up as well. Oh, he might go down, the supports are nowhere near, but Sasu, no more Brave Fire Blasts, no Boots either. Man, Fury, he messed up big time there almost.
And now Blacks and Uniden, they're smoked up, and they are going to be scouting the fact that they're not going to scout the Ancients. They're just going to wait for the Tinker. This creep wave is going to meet roughly at the middle, so this should be pretty good for this smoke gank. They have a Centaur and a Troll, but the Troll, unfortunately, is going to die before this gank happens. So rip Troll, as they only have a Centaur now. Do they have a concussive shot? Yes, they do, but Tinker and Mirana are both really, really safe. Yeah, that smoke just wasted a lot of
Did
time.
they see the Traels body just falling to the floor, by the way? Wait, did that
Uh,
give away the gank?
you don't see it on the map. I don't think like you reveal yourself on the map and then it disappears. So if they were looking there, they could have, but I don't know. It seems like they were aware of it somehow. It might have been the troll.
I mean, if it was just sick coincidence and luck, I guess, for a little while. But bottom lane, Nemirianos might be in some trouble. Anchor smashed up, and with that, actually, Brewmaster is the one on the run. Makan is there for Supreme, has a haste, this should be an easy kill Crypt Swarm, and indeed, they do get it. And this Tidehunter is having such a better time than the Clockwork up on the top lane.
Yeah, the Brewmaster unfortunately didn't have enough mana for another clap. If he did, I'm sure they would have committed the shackles and then would have tried to kill off that Tide. But, you know, sometimes you just don't have enough mana and you can't afford to be doing that. Meantime, top lane, Sasu's once again going to go toe-to-toe with Fury. This time, Fury does have Battery Assault available, so Sasu's going to take a little bit more damage than he's giving. And I was taking even more damage. Sasu doesn't have any points in Vamp, and he's going to have to worry about a rotating Shadow Shaman, who is so far undetected, though he's going to walk right into a dire Observer Ward. So Sasu is going to know full on what's going on, and of course the person who's most happy about that is the Tidehunter. He's going now toe-to-toe for the Brewmaster, and that's perfectly okay with him.
And actually, Winnie still, well, Mini is so fast, so speedy arrow, a little bit off target as well. Nerf, movement speed of Skyraf Mage. Literally hope that he's gonna get at least -5 base movement speed, if not more.
Yeah, put him at 315 as a starter. I think that's pretty fair, assuming how much damage he can put out.
I think so too, I mean, 315 or 320, something like that. Just anything. The 325 is way too fast, but Sasu might be in trouble. They get the shackles, Better Assault activated, arrow to follow up as well. They don't even need the power cogs anymore. Ether Shock and Clockwork, he gets the kill. And safely. Actually, well, he had the Hand of Mind's recipe at the very least, so probably didn't lose too much gold here.
Yeah, he only had 12 gold. It's all unreliable, of course, but yeah, it's not a terribly huge loss there. Of course, he's going to have to walk back, which is probably the biggest loss in that exchange. And, well, TT, they still have 3 heroes up on top. No mana for a Mirana arrow. And Blacks does have a Centaur, so if they do start a fight, this could go pretty well for B5. Although they have to respect the cogs in such a clustered area, they are going to close in with the Centaur, but they're completely spotted out, and Munkin is going to get hit with the concussive shot, plus some Arcane Bolt harassment. Centaur going to look for a stomp, will whiff completely. Fury looking to set up some cogs, but in the end, he's just going to force everyone back without spending any mana. Well, there's a Wraithfire Blast on the Fury, and more Arcane Bolts. They're going to get a couple right clicks. Centaur going to look for a body block action. It's going to be Munkin who's a little bit in trouble. The arrow gets tagged onto Sasu's. Munkin gets focused down by the Arcane Bolts. Fury's going to lay down the cogs, but it's a little bit too late. He's going to get a couple bounces, but the magic stick won't be enough as Death Prophet does come from the side with the Crypt Swarm just on the edge. Going to make this a 2-for-1 trade for B5 as they actually lost the Tide. Brewmaster getting his split off.
Yeah, I mean, definitely nice for the Brewmaster getting the solo kill. But he used the Primal Split, whereas Tidehunter still holding on to his Ravage. So he can just go to another lane now and maybe set up a kill there. Of course, it's not as easy. I'm just saying, like, yeah, go to another lane, get the kill. You can do it. But the lanes have to be at the right positions as well as you have to get there unnoticed. Which is definitely the hardest part, I think. So, we'll see if he can make it that. But at the moment, just going back to the bottom lane, just farming up. And he's gonna go for straight up mech, so no Blink Dagger to come out by him. At least not earlier.
Yeah, with the amount of farm he's getting, I think this is not a terrible decision. But, wow, Sasu actually dropping to Fury solo. He had mana when I was literally looking at him, and then I panned to the bottom lane, and then he just died. He must have accidentally miscounted his mana.
Maybe he just ran into the cogs or was trying to escape the cogs and just got mana burned a little bit. Must have been something like that, I guess. Or maybe just used the Wraithfire Blast and was like, oh crap, no reincarnation anymore. I mean, if he had the reincarnation, they definitely would have been able to get the counter kill, just slowing down the Clockwork, nowhere to run. He escaped with what, like 170 HP or something before the stick usage. But Makan, he's gonna run into Blackstar. Who's gonna run into who? They get the Hex. The Troll is there, no ensnare yet. Actually, still not going for the Micro. He's just not coming out. The Alexan, can he get the laser? That's all he needs, really. He's taking a laser. He's holding on to it. What? He was waiting for so long. The heals, though, just barely not enough.
Scream is going to come in, but unfortunately he can't get anything. It's a very, very nice kill for the Tinker, who has so far been applied 0 pressure. They're going to get a hook shot on Scream with the perfect arrow follow-up. This is a very dead Death Prophet. It's a double kill for this Tinker. Boots of Travel is just a hop, skip, and a jump away as he's going to soon clear the 1, 2, 3, 4 stack of Ancients. That's going to give him his boots of Traels and then some. Yeah, B5 have not applied any pressure to this Tinker at all.
Yeah, I mean, he's been doing so well. At least the Tidehunter is doing equally well almost on the bottom lane. Has his Arcane Woods, Headrest, and harassing the Brewmaster completely out of the lane. But Brewmaster has a Primal Split. Wouldn't be too surprised if he just used it to apply some pressure on another lane now. Maybe go top lane, get another kill on the Wraith King, or at least burn the Reincarnation. Or maybe just try to push a tower or two.
Tide used actually his Ravage on that bottom lane attempt of the Brewmaster, but just fell a little bit short as far as damage output is concerned. But still, it's a big cooldown that's not available for B5. I don't think they're going to be looking to fight right now, although they do have the Death Prophet with level 1 Exorcism. She's ready to go. If it's going to be the mid lane, then they do have Enchantress creeps as well. They're going to catch a Tinker, but I don't know if the Enchantress has enough, as Arrow's going to fly through, tag blacks perfectly, missiles. Only level, well, it's actually level 3 now. Level 4, wow, okay, Tinker's getting some pretty nice levels, but it's the third kill for the Tinker. He was at 0 kills like 2 minutes ago, and now he's at 3.
Yeah, it's looking way too good. Fury gets stunned, he gets the power cogs off, and that's all he needs. Or is it? One Creep Swarm will do the job. He's gonna get slowed down. Supreme, easy kill for him. Utah, he's there, but silenced up. Was it a little bit too much for him to bite off? No, he backs off in time before the Hellbear Smasher gets the Thunderclap.
Brewmaster, unfortunately, getting hit pretty hard by that quick silence from the Skywrath Mage, and though the Clockwork is usually a great defensive hero, he's gonna go right back in to get silenced again. What are you doing, Brewmaster? There's still a silence on the other end. I guess he thought that he would have backup, but yeah, he's not that tanky.
Yeah, definitely a miscalculation at the moment. Although Supreme drops solo, Sasu cops a 5-second arrow as well. They need to defend the Brave King. He doesn't have enough mana for the Reincarnation. Now he does. I mean, if he had gone down there, it would have been kind of a disaster. But yeah, Lexan is there. More heat-seeking missiles. He gets the kill onto Supreme Death. Tinker, just level 11, 10 minutes in. It's spelling disaster. He's only 400 gold short of his Blink Dagger now suddenly as well.
He's 2 levels ahead of his opponent in the Death Prophet, getting all those kills, certainly helping him with the experience. And Tinker going to teleport down to the bottom lane where they just flap and walk down the Tide, who's trying to kill off the Shadow Shaman. But Tinker's collecting heads left and right. This guy is going to be very quickly out of control. He's 2100 gold and he has an old talisman already. It's got to be the Dagon next, after the Blink Dagger, of course.
He's 2000 net worth above the next highest, which is at the moment the Death Prophet at 4.2. So this Tinker, he is definitely semi-snowballing or starting the snowball at the moment, let's say. Utah Dota doesn't have his Blink Dagger, actually not too close to it on the Brewmaster yet, so that's one positive for B5. But we were just heavily focusing on the fact that B5, they are the ones that have to just take the advantage early on. At the moment, it's just not happening.
Yeah, and especially with the team comp that Team Traels have crafted for themselves, they don't really have a hugely supreme late game hero like the Morphling or Luna or anything like that, so they have to take this game convincingly within 30-40 minutes and then ride that into a victory ultimately. So having a Tinker get this much farm this early on is like the perfect start. He's going to clear off a huge camp and he's well on his way to his Dagon, as I mentioned before. B5, they did take down a tier 1 tower up top. Exorcism still was actually committed. I don't really know when that happened, but they still have an Exorcism up. They should be looking to take down the rest of these tier 2 towers, tier 1 towers, and get some momentum for themselves at the very least. But Uniden and Tidehunter smoked up looking for blood.
Yeah, the tier 1 tower top lane was actually pretty damn low from the last fight when the Tinker just got 1 kill with heat-seeking missiles. But he's gonna TP in into the smoke. Can he cancel it in time? Nope, the Ravage comes out onto 2 of them. Silence onto the Tinker as well. There's no level 6, no Mystic Flare. It is still alive. One more Anchor Smash. Will it do the job? Yes, it will. Power Cogs. Actually pushing Tidehunter a little bit closer there as well. But Hookshot is going for the counter, the turnaround. Battery Assault should be enough, but the creeps coming in. The Silence Mystic Flare is now there. Tidehunter gets the gush. They get the stun as well on Fury. He actually goes down in the room. He's... What? They killed 4? Like, what? How? B5, they're doing it.
Yeah, there was another fight happening near the Ancients. You see the Serpent Ward still available. There were the Mirana and Shadow Shaman trying to pick a fight with Supreme and Sasu. They do take out the Reincarnation with the Ward Trap, but then he popped right up, killed his way out of those wards, and, well, he just went to town on everyone else. And with the Hand of Midas, he's attacking pretty quickly with those crits. B5, they take a really nice fight, spreading it out as much as possible. Kind of weird considering they have a Tidehunter, but they also didn't have to deal with the Brewmaster that entire fight, so, not too bad.
Yeah, if the Brewmaster had been there with a Prime Split, definitely could have just changed the outcome of both of the fights. At least get a counter kill or 2 at the moment. they just completely flopped, and that's Blink Dagger now for the Wraith King. That's gonna be his mobility. They're going for Roche with the Exorcism, which is level 2. Even has a haste rune on the Death Prophet if need be. And this Roshan is just gonna go completely unnoticed.
And it was dropped really quickly with that Gush minus armor and a whole bunch of creeps from Enchantress with Vamp Aura to tank. Wraith King now has, well, his artificial reincarnation back up online, and Mirana, oh, she's going to run headlong into a whole bunch of heroes. They don't have Exorcism to take down this tower, but I don't even know if they need it. They are powerful enough to just straight push this. They'll have to deal with a split from Brewmaster and Serpent Wards in 10, but I think they could just go for it.
Yeah, it definitely might be available if they just want to commit. Fury with the hookshot can do something, but he's level 8, not the scariest. I mean, has the power trace, but he can definitely be brought down, and Brave King, he can tank it up all day long. But the smoke, they run into 2, they get the Hex onto Blacks immediately. Primal Split comes out as well, arrow into Sasu. He's gonna lose his artificial ages like you mentioned, almost immediately. A few more right clicks, but to room, he's not doing enough damage. Oh, the Cogs onto 2, but where's the follow-up? Mystic Flare, Fury, he's in so much trouble all of a sudden in return. It's a 2 for 0 so far. Nemerianos, oh man, the Kraken Shell saving him, hitting missiles. Lands on Uniden, not the Tidehunter. So it's a 2 for 0 arrow, not gonna hit anybody. They need to get something supreme. He's still on the run, has the Ace Rune activated. And Utah, well, probably everybody's backing off, but B5, they even win the fight, although the Primal Split was used.
They get away at such low amounts of HP. They do use the Aegis, and another arrow will clip Blacks. Where's the Tinker? They need this damage. Tinker's teleporting straight in, but B5, the Tidehunter barely manages to limp away after that. Now he has a secondary mech available for his team, so he's going to be forced to use that pretty shortly. B5 they're going to be pushing into a March of the Machines, and that's something that is pretty impossible to do. He's going to fire off some missiles as well. TT, they don't take as good a fight as I would have thought. I mean, they had a pretty nice Warrior Trap on that Tidehunter. They didn't have to deal with a Ravage. They had the split out, but just not enough damage to kill off these B5 heroes.
Yeah, of course, really well kited by B5 as well. A little bit lucky with the heat-seeking missiles, maybe. Arrow to fly, oh, but they catch Turum. Can they get the slows? The conversion shot is there, the stun onto Makan. Well, Shadow Shaman, oh, the hookshot misses. Well, Mystic Flare on top of Makan. A few more right clicks, Arcane Bolts, finish the job. And now Fury, he comes in, he has the Power Cogs and the Battery Assault, but can he catch up to anybody at all?
There's a Blink Dagger up on the Wraith King, which he had in the last fight, though he didn't really need to use it since he just ran into enemies instead of blinking in. They're still applying some pressure to this bottom lane, but it might be a little bit of futile effort. The Tidehunter taking a lot of damage in that March and does get clipped with an arrow just as he uses Kraken Shell beforehand. That kind of sucks. Tidehunter's going to get brought down by a Clockwork. It's a free kill for Fury.
Yeah, they want B5. They have been taking some nice fights, but the issue still remains. They really don't have something that can completely jump the Tinker. Brave King with the Blink Dagger maybe can get close enough if the Tinker has mispositioned himself. But other than that, just the heat-seeking missile spam and the March of the Machines. B5, they have to find a way to deal with that somehow. I mean, last time around when they fought in the mid lane, they got the Tinker first pretty much with the Ravage. So they have to find some kind of opening to kill the Tinker, who now has a take on level 1 finished.
Supreme's gonna get split upon. Does get thrown up into the air. His Yule Scepter saving him from a clap, I think, or a rock, or well, saving him for something, but only for a little while. It's gonna be a split used to take out a Death Prophet. Usually not the trade that you really want to make, but if you could take a tier 1 tower off of it uncontested, then that is certainly a trade worthwhile.
And oh, the leap actually disjoints the River Blast close range. They get 1 kill, the Ravage comes out onto 3 heroes at the very least. They get the Tinker with the hookshot coming in at the same time onto Sasu. Mass Serpent Wars down. They are in tower range as well. Sasu, he takes some damage, but it's a 2 for 2 so far. Shackles onto Tidehunter, but he's tanky enough without the Tinker just bursting them down. And Makan, he just right click at the tower now. Sasu, he has Rayfire Blast. Doesn't want to use it yet though. He would have been 1 mana short of the reincarnation then. But it's a better fight for B5 slightly.
Yeah, they're just taking these fights constantly. That Ravage from the Tide was pretty nice, and Tinker, though he did get the Skywrath Mage to start things off, he jumped in way too deep in order to accomplish that. So he was stuck off to the edge, and he was surrounded by like Tide, Enchantress, and I believe someone else. I believe it was the Wraith King. So when you're surrounded like that as a Tinker, there's not much you could do. So this Tinker has to make sure that he plays his spacing game a little bit better, because he has the Blink Dagger. He should be safe most of the time in these fights. And if he gets caught, he just simply dies, and then TT crumble after that.
Yeah, and looks like B5, they want to get this tier 1 bottom lane still. Tinker, he's deeping in, blink into the trees, lay down March to the Machines, and he should be fine if he heeds your advice. If he just plays it a little bit safe and hides in the trees, or just stays at the back line of the fight, doesn't go up into the towers himself. But he gets back to safety at least for the time being. Monk and Harrow is around, but nothing gonna come of it. I mean, the Radiant side, they have this Observer spotting out the most of the dire side movements.
So Radiant are playing with the intelligence advantage, looking out for a clockwork hookshot. Of course, if he does get the cogs off, Uniden will have a pretty nice painted target, the Mystic Flare. And we saw how much damage that clock could take. Though this time he does have the cloak. He's still very vulnerable to that. They're gonna have to also fight in the Martian machines. They're gonna circle around and find the Shadow Shaman and Mystic Flare him. Goodbye, Arasa. He's dead. Now Uniden gonna get clipped with an arrow. Meantime, Fury off the side being zoned out. They're gonna get a nice clap onto Uniden, but the silence onto Uchidota means no split. He doesn't even actually have the mana. They're just gonna eat him up. B5, I don't really know what they're doing right now. They're going to defend their tower, it looks like, but they're just jumping in one after another after another.
That was really awkward to say the least, especially the Brewmaster. And that's what you get when you go for face boots and don't go for like drums to get the extra intelligence pool. Magic Stick was already used, so it wasn't cooldown, couldn't get the extra 6 charges off anymore. If you had the Prime Split, oh, actually blocks under the tower, he's in the tower vision as well, Fury. Man, he's gonna get the range, the cogs, but the Ravage, it comes out to room, gonna get taken out immediately, so still has the reincarnation if necessary. And Fury, don't think he can escape, or can he? Muggen, Master Serpent was down, Hex onto Supreme as well, Tinker, he's their magic missiles with the laser. They get two, actually they pop the reincarnation as well, Shackled up to follow up, do they have cogs? Yes they do. I think they actually might get the kill laser. Sasu does no damage, and triple kill to the Tinker.
B5 stuck around for way too long. Not only that, but they also lost the Maelstrom on the Courier. It's a pretty bad item to lose, since the Courier is going to be down for another 2 minutes after the Wraith King respawns. So he's going to have his damage and farming cut by quite a large margin. But this game, I was kind of asking for another roller coaster, and I think I'm going to get it. B5 looking so good after a couple of fights, but then just staying a little bit too long and dropping one too many kills.
Yeah, with the Ravage, I actually thought that they might get another fight, but they also lost the gem. Enchantress was holding the gem, or at least he was the one to buy the gem, so Fury, he's in possession of it now on the Clockwork. Has a Blade Mail finished, it's just gonna be absolutely awesome for him. Some Arcane Boots on the Shadow Shaman and the Mirana both. But looking at the graphs now, it was a 7,500 gold lead actually for B5, dropping down to 5k, so they are still in the lead. XP from 6k to down to actually almost 1,000 in TT's favor now. Gold also 3,500, so man, roller coaster indeed. You get what you wish for.
So this game, what I want to see now is Clockwork stuck in cogs, and Uniden drops a Mystic Flare, and he doesn't realize that there's Blade Mail. That's the next goal I want to see for TT.
I'm pretty sure it's gonna happen.
Yeah, if they do that, then it's gonna be a win for them. Like even if they lose the game.
Just the mental victories are the most important.
Yeah, gotta claim those moral victories whenever you can. Well, they're gonna go for a push onto the bottom lane. This Tinker make it very hard for Blacks to defend. He already used Nature's Attendants. They're gonna be missiles after missiles, forcing this Enchantress to use Earn Charges simply to stick around in the lane. Fury, at the drop of the hat, can go in, and they do have Serpent Wards as well. Shadow Shaman, though, not yet at the level 11 mark, so a little bit of an awkward timing, but this should be a free tier 1 tower down on bottom as Uniden up top. Gonna go for Unidota. They're gonna get silence off with the Mystic Flare. They're gonna kill off this Brewmaster so very easily, unless he splits off. The Master Stick, not quite enough. They kill off the Brewmaster, and it's gonna be at the expense of a tier 1 tower.
I mean, I do have to say, unfortunately, that the Brewmaster, he has not impressed this game around. Yes, he did get the solo kill onto the Tidehunter early on with his first Primal Split. But from there on, he's been mostly actually running into some mana issues, or at the moment, Skywrath Mage Silence is such a great tool to deal with him. Yes, in a team fight, when you just blink in Thunderclap Primal Split, Skywrath Mage might not be in position or just not be aware of you blinking in, it's chaos anyway in a fight. But in a gank like that, it's just way too easy to disable the Brewmaster.
And of course, at this point, it's irrelevant, but Ancient Seal was also maxed first. They do get a hook shot onto Supreme. He's trapped. He's a Yule Scepter, but he's actually fighting this one out. Arrow will fly under the Cyclone, and now this is going to be a really messy fight for TT as they overextend. Munkin going to be hit with a Ravage, as will Fury as he does try to retreat. Supreme still there with the Exorcism, going to clean off both of those two heroes. It looks like they're not going to find anyone else. Dota does have that split available. Top lane is actually pushing pretty nicely for B5, and they're going to get a tower denied in mid. And it looks like they're going to go for a tower push in the middle lane. They still have to worry about this Tinker defense, though. It's going to be hard.
Yeah, I mean, Tinker stays alive, and that's the most important part. Exorcism, it's going to wear off soon enough as well. He has the double damage, so they still get some damage, but it's down to half HP, man. Just the Exorcism is such a ridiculous ability for pushing. Arrow it's not gonna hit anybody. They even saw it coming as well. Sasu blinks out to safety. And still waiting for the Maelstrom finally delivered out to him, or at least shoot. The courier, come on, make another trip. Yes, he's gonna go for it. So, lots of back and forth. As always, Blackstorm might be in trouble. Laser Dagon. Heat-seeking missiles. Oh man, poor Bambi.
That's what you get for going into the Tinker's jungle. This is Tinker's territory. You don't go there, even if you are like one with the animals and everything, like the Enchantress. Tinker, more than capable of killing off. Well, I would say pretty much. Well, actually, only the Enchantress and Scarlet Mage. B5 are getting a lot tankier than I thought. Wraith King, of course, does have his reincarnation, and Tidehunter has a pipe in the works with the hood already up, and Death Prophet is actually almost at her heart. So she's going to be really tanky, though. Now an Ethereal Blade being picked up from the Tinker. I like this item sequencing from him, so he's going to have that additional Ethereal Blast set up for a little more magic damage for his team, as well as that level 1 Dagon.
Yeah, and he can even just stop it from, or stop the Wraith King from just right-clicking away with the E-Blade. So it can definitely have its uses, or just use it even on a teammate if necessary. But you have to make sure that if you use it on a teammate, he's not gonna get Mystic Flared, otherwise it's gonna be disaster. But we'll see if they can just try to hold on to it, as Nemeriana is actually going for a pipe at the moment to the Tidehunter. Nowhere near as fast as the Viper got it last game around, but a pipe is something that definitely will help them just try to break high ground. Wow.
That was brutal. He just jumped in, and Scarlet Mage literally didn't have time to even move his hero. In the meantime, Sasu up on top. He's caught in the cogs. He does have mana for reincarnation. He's actually going to get nuked down immediately by Tinker, and then March the Machine's Fury is dropping fairly low, and looks like a blink out from the Wraith King, but Dota is there for a collapse split. Split completely unnecessary, but they got him, I guess.
Yeah, it's just a little bit over-eager on the Brewmaster here. But kill secured, I guess. You can put it like that at the moment. But this Tinker, man, that E-Blade, it is a ridiculous amount of damage. And actually, he's a pretty nice health pool himself as well, thanks to it. I mean, 1.6k HP, he's level 19, getting so many stats just purely from the levels. And how far? Actually, yeah, the next highest is level 16. It is the Wraith King, so his reincarnation is only 1 minute. That's definitely one positive for B5 from this. As well as the Heart of the Rest picked up on Supreme. But Roshan, it gets scouted out. I don't think they can make it there, though.
They'll use the exorcism for this, and they've already lost Tier 2 tower. Even if TT can't defend this Roshan, it's not a terribly huge deal. Aegis on the Death Prophet is annoying, but you only have to deal with one exorcism, whether it's before the Aegis or after. So it's not the largest threat in the world for TT. Like, definitely a Wraith King would have been a little bit more dangerous, since you have to deal with him so many times, and he will always be as potent every single life. But, you know, unfortunately for the B5 side, Wraith King was dead, so can't get that going. But we have actually an even kill score game, and wow, if you take a look at the graphs, it is remarkably even.
Yeah, I mean, only about a 2k gold difference. Still in the Dyer's favor, B5. XP just... I don't want to say 100% even, I'd be lying, but it's close enough to that.
Yeah, the TD side have to worry about this Wraith King, who with the Mjolnir and with a Mithril Hammer in tow, probably going to be a BKB, I want to say, for Sasu. He's going to be a really scary late-game hero, and they have the advantage right now with the Tinker, but if they don't capitalize off this Tinker power and start taking some more Tier 2 towers, then if they just sit back and wait for this Wraith King to get way too big, then it could end up biting them in the ass.
Yeah, but this Wraith King at the moment, is he going to just get to the stage anytime soon? He has a decent amount of farm, at least as far as his team goes and everybody on the Radiant side except the Tinker. But he's working towards the BKB. I definitely think he needs it, otherwise the Tinker is just gonna pop his reincarnation, rearm, kill him again. But, I mean, yes, he will have the BKB, but will the damage output still be high enough?
I mean, there's really no alternative. At this point, they still have a level 2 Death Prophet ultimate, soon to be level 3, so as far as damage is concerned, Death Prophet should be, you know, dealing more than enough to make B5 comfortable for the fact that they need to get a little bit more defensive items on the Wraith King. So they'll use the exorcism to good use there, but still they haven't yet taken that many towers. Bottom lane is actually deniable, but a lot of heroes mounting a defense down bottom as Arrow does fly will not scout anyone, I don't believe. It'll also miss everyone. So just March of the Machine after March of the Machine, and well, Dagon number 4 is picked up for the Tinker. The damage is going to get scary at B5. They, I guess they're okay with chilling, but always it's really hard dealing with late game Tinker.
Yeah, I mean, they will have the pipe finish now as well. It will help out, I guess, tank out half of the Dagon's damage. And not to mention, if it's E-bladed, then it won't even do that much. So pipe, it will help to say the least, but just take on level 4 with an E-Blade. It does way too much. BKB and Brave King also finished. That will definitely stop any kind of magical damage from coming at you. So the BKB, they just hopefully will get the surprise factor now when TT just Sasu jumping in, popping the BKB all of a sudden when TT have maybe overextended. Oh, Durum! He blinks towards the wrong side and he pays for it. Oh wow, that leap.
I mean, there's actually pretty nice reflexes from the Mirana because she did dodge the Wraithfire Blast, and that's hard to do, especially when the Wraith King is so close to you. So it was a good attempt, but ultimately she just jumps into the enemy and ends up giving a gem. It's now being wielded by... Where is the gem? She had a gem. It's still on the... where is it?
Did I wait? The magical thing? What? Fury was holding on to some gem. Didn't he lose the gem here? Oh, he loses Shadow Shaman, goes down mid lane. Master Pit was used for it as well, which are just gonna get farmed up. Shadow Shaman split pushing alone with... Well, at least he had a Blink Dagger, but still, not a good idea.
Well, Fury's going to catch Supreme in the cogs once again. The clap is going to be dodged, and, well, I don't think it's going to help you. Arrow will be dodged as well. This Death Prophet's actually dodging a lot of skills accidentally. Here comes the random Satyr, but Supreme's going to get nuked down really hard. Satyr not able to do anything, and Supreme's going to get slowly worked down by the Brewmaster, but the rest of the team is here. Pipe is going to be deployed and take her off to the side, being chased down by the Enchantress. They're going to change the focus to Clockwork. He's going to hookshot, or Force Staff down south towards Blacks, but the damage just isn't there. The arrow onto Blacks is Fury. Going to try to fight and kill off Blacks with his last breath. He won't even get that to happen. B5, they don't lose anyone. They don't take that many kills, though, so ultimately it's not a terribly huge deal. Wraith King, though, chasing down Mirana in the trees. Going to find one more. They have to worry about their top lane, which is being pushed, but Tinker, aside from throwing creep waves into the tower, isn't a great pusher.
Oh man, actually, wow, Blade Mail picked up on Death Prophet at the moment as well, but Tinker, he still had like 800 mana when he TP'd out. He was in the safety behind the trees by then already. Could have at least just let one heatsink missiles fly and pop down the Martian machines with that. If the Enchantress had still done what she did, definitely would have died 100%. But didn't even just think twice about it. He was like, I'm gonna TP out, screw you guys, I'm gonna let you die. I'm the most important, I have to kill all the enemies, and the Prophet, just with the heart of the task, surviving the burst, coming out, then getting the silence and B5 by then. All the other heroes had been there, and now Exorcism, it comes out. Or actually, it's gonna end. My bad. So, they're not gonna push high ground yet, but they smoke up and oh, they're going for something sneaky at least.
Yeah, they're just waiting for Tinker to feel a little bit too confident, blink forward for a march, you know, just really casually farming the lane. But then suddenly 5 heroes there. Tinker is, though, on the top lane, putting creep wave after creep wave into this tier 3 tower. And B5, they're being very patient. They are going to get paid off in the Mirana, but it's not a big win because they don't even get her. Okay, well, that was a waste of time.
Man, to be honest, TT, they're in kind of a pickle at the moment since they are relying solely on the Tinker. Brewmaster, yes, he has his IM Scepter, but just net worth wise, he's not doing much of anything. Clockwork, not a carry by any means, and neither is the Shadow Shaman. Mirana could have been, but since she's a support and didn't get enough done early game to just get some farm to transition into a semi-carry. I mean, this Tinker at the moment, I'm not even too sure if it's going to be enough to just deal with a Wraith King, as well as a Death Prophet who's pretty damn farmed by now.
Especially since they're going to be losing a lot of map control. The Tinker with the Boots of Travels will be always very useful in pushing out the lanes, but if he does get caught out, the odds of him having backup, being able to teleport into the towers and help out the Tinker, are going to be very, very low. So B5, they're doing a pretty good job as of right now. There's 3,600 gold in the Wraith King. Whether it's Mjolnir or any other item, I don't really think it matters for him. He just needs to be doing a little bit more damage. And as long as he gets that together, he should be just fine moving forward, especially with Enchantress also moving forward damage build. He's only 300 gold away from her Aghanim, so it's a lot of damage from the Enchantress, a lot of damage from Wraith King, and always Death Prophet will be doing a lot of damage as well. B5 are looking pretty good in this game.
Yeah, it's definitely looking good, like you said as well. I wouldn't mind something like an Abyssal Blade coming out from Sasu either, really. Just jump in, and if you reach the Tinker, you can make 100% sure that it's actually gonna die as well then straight away, or actually jump anybody and get a kill. Arrow flies out, but connects on an Ancient rather than Sasu himself. So, TT, what's their game plan now? What the hell do they do about this?
Their game plan should be smoke up and look to kill off one person, and then try to force the buyback out of that person. If he doesn't have buyback, then fine, try to take a tier 2 tower after that, but just having your Tinker farm up forever is not really going to be enough because there's a Ravage on the other end. If the Ravage does fly off, odds are it's going to hit the Tinker, and then at that point, Tinker is going to get demolished by the Wraith King. So Tinker can only contribute so much to this fight, as you were saying, and none of the other heroes are getting anything, so they're pretty much wasting their window of opportunity right now by not being grouped up.
Yeah, it's of course hard to just make those decisions as well. Maybe they don't know if they're behind at all. Overall, all they know is just our Tinker is extremely farmed. He can probably just blow them up completely and deal with them solo. But it's definitely not going to be the case, especially now that Iron Shutter is going to be finished on Enchantress. Roshan though, respawn timer is all in all about 10 minutes, 10 seconds or so. So still about 2 minutes away for B5, which is good for TT in a way. But if they don't make anything happen in the time and just let B5 continue on farming, they are just gonna get rolled over, especially if they get Aegis as well.
Looks like Sasu has actually been farming all the while for an Assault Cuirass, which he'll just now finish up. He's going to ditch the teleportation scroll, but still it's going to be a lot of deeps as the Courier. Get your ass over here, Courier. There we go. Assault Cuirass for the Wraith King. He's going to be hitting really, really hard, but not only him, also the Anchor Smash from the Tidehunter, but most importantly, the Exorcism from the Death Prophet is going to be hitting that much harder due to the minus armor aura. So huge item pickup from the Wraith King, and it's going to be just in time to fight the Roshan.
Yeah, and Nemerianos finally gets himself a Blink Dagger on the Tidehunter. Level 3 Ravage now. He went for the Pipe and Mech first, but now finally he can be also just there, straight in the middle of the fight. And this Blink Dagger will make it so much easier for his Ravage to just connect onto the Tinker. And do you actually think that the Tinker would have to go for a BKB? And even if he does, will it just mean that if he stays in the fight to stay literally in the middle of it to spam out every single spell and rearm there as well, will the extra physical damage with the Wraith King just demolish him then?
I don't know. The BKB seems pretty good for the Tinker just for survivability. I don't know if it's going to cross his mind because it's such a rarely picked up item for the Tinker. He might just go for the regular sheep stick kind of thing and try to just get picks by himself and try to ignore the whole Ravage issue, which is another way to go, I suppose, but there's really no great way for the Tinker to go to make himself completely safe to everything that B5 has, because they have a good mix of magical threat in the Skywrath Mage, they have a good mix of physical threat in the Wraith King and the Exorcism, and hell, you even have a little bit of pure damage coming out from Impetus. Aside from pure HP, I don't know what this Tinker can get to really make himself safe.
Yeah, I mean, it's going extremely hard. I guess just great positioning will be his best tool. He has 5k in the bank. Sheep Stick is definitely one of the best items on Tinker. Just constant cheap is possible if you don't have too many heroes to deal with at the same time at the very least. Just Hex, take on level 5 and E-Blade. It is so deadly, or at least it has the potential to be if P5 are not grouped up and just give away a couple of casualties here or there. And towards TT, I guess they can hope for that. Just get a couple of pickups every now and then and maybe go in with a man advantage.
Yeah, they could do that, but they're going to have to worry about this Roshan. Sasu can pretty much do this by himself. Like, he doesn't actually need any of his allies here. With the Vamp he has, plus the damage he's putting out, it's a very easy Roshan, although I don't know who they should be putting it on. Death Prophet probably not the best. Sasu, I think at a certain point, getting an Aegis on Wraith King is redundant. This is probably at that point. They also have to worry about top lane, where Serpent Wards level 2 have been deployed. They're going to lose a tier 3 tower in exchange for this. The rest of the heroes preparing for a fight over the Roshan pit, but it's going to be at the expense of a tier 3 tower. And that means the range Raxes are going to be vulnerable as Fury does jump in and secure the cheese for himself. He's going to get a full-on Mystic Flare though, so I don't know if it was worth it. Top lane still being pushed. Fortification does stop that in its tracks for now, but still the Serpent Wards are working away at the melee Raxes. They shouldn't be able to kill it. Flax, get in there and kill him off. There you go. But the melee Rax is taking a lot of damage. Range Rax is taking a good chunk as well. But all in all, I don't know if B5 should be completely okay with that, because they lose the cheese.
Yeah, it was a pretty nice snatch to be honest for the Clockwork, although he died there. And I'm not pretty sure if they wanted Blacks to get the Aegis or not on the Enchantress. Or maybe the Clockwork coming in like that kind of made it panic mode, like everybody was clicking on the ground, trying to just pick up anything. And Enchantress, I mean, with an Aghanim Scepter, yes, with the Impetus can dish out a crap ton of damage. But maybe there would have been better choices for the Aegis.
This Tinker is going in so deep. If anyone comes out here, they will be jumped, but looks like the Death Prophet, with her tankiness plus the Blade Mail, will keep herself safe just due to the threat of the Tinker. But yeah, Boots Travel's now being picked up on the Wraith King. He has a Hand of Midas until he's completely 6-slotted. And also, of course, the Mjolnir to be picked up, so a lot more attack speed. But top lane Tinker, he's playing so annoyingly for B5. This game, I wouldn't really expect it to go to the super late, given the hero comps, but it looks like we're actually heading there.
Yeah, if somehow DT managed to just do what they did, of course, since there's no Roshan going to be coming up anytime soon, there's no way B5 won't defend the tier 3 as in the Rex. But oh, Nemenarius, he gets the pipe just before the laser connects. But yeah, Lexen, just with the burst, was even almost able to bring down the Tidehunter, who has a pipe or just the passive magic resistance increased from that. That burst damage, he definitely just made B5 aware of his presence once again. He had slowed down a little bit, hadn't really blown up anybody for some time, but definitely let them know that he has the ability to do so.
And he's going to be still a nuisance up on the top lane as Sasu does finally get the jump off on the Mirana. They were hunting that cat down for so long, but finally the Wraithfire Blast connects and they get the kill. It's not a really high priority kill because it's just to support Mirana. It's not a terribly huge deal. He'll be able to put a little bit of pressure on the bottom lane, but still top lane is being pushed. Tinker does have a BKB, so he will be immune to that Ravage and the silence from the Skywrath Mage, all that good stuff. And, well, he's going to jump in and insta-kill the Skywrath Mage. That helps. BKB teleport away. Nothing to interrupt that, actually, so he's going to escape.
Yeah, man. If he had gone greedy and not used the BKB, he would have gone down, just Tidehunter, come in, probably even use the Ravage for that kill. Definitely would have been worth it to just kill a Tinker after all. But BKB will be on cooldown. It was the 10-second BKB as well. Not too big though, since 9 seconds is almost as good. Sasu? Oh, he's hanging around. Does he really want to pick a fight with them? No, he's just farming up the enemy jungle.
If he finds the Brewmaster, he certainly won't be able to kill him, but I don't know if the Brewmaster can kill him either. The Tinker, though, keep in mind, can teleport to Brewmaster once he's split, which is one of the most awkward interactions in Dota. Like, you wouldn't expect that to work, but it does. So Wraith King, if he does go into lane now, he will be very quickly outnumbered and outgunned, but it's going to be on the top lane where Mirana is still in trouble. Going to get Gush, but she will leap away to safety. The bottom lane is still being pushed. Looks like Sasu will be the person to deal with that, as the Shadow Shaman, yes, still is just chilling out there. I don't know what the plan is. He's going to backdoor the range racks?
I'm not too sure if he's going to be able to. They might get a kill on the Uniden. Nope, not happening. I have no idea what his plan was, especially with that blink out. So, actually the TPs are coming in now. Oh, he's in so much trouble. Massive Edwards, Sasu blinks on him, but Monken, he gets the blink out. Top lane, there's a fight actually. Shiva's card activated Fury. He wants to go in, gets the Cogs, but doesn't catch anybody. Nemenarius dropping so damn low, goes down to the laser as well. Supreme slowed down. Blade Mail activated, but he's probably going to go down. Exorcism though. Will it be enough to get a counter with him at the very least? No, it's not. Dagon gets another kill and blocks now. He's on the run, he has the Aegis, but just leap into Arrow, Thunderclap. Another Thunderclap to follow up as well on top of that. Aegis down. Is this the opening they've been looking for? I mean, Ravage at least will be off cooldown. He has the buyback as well. Blacks. Oh, he's going for the TP out. Not going to happen. Hexed up.
B5 make the crucial mistake once again of fighting out without a full 5-man squad. Uniden was in base. I don't even know where Sasu was, but if they had the Wraith King there to, at the very least, peel heroes and, you know, try to keep the Death Prophet a little bit safer, that would have been such a different fight. But fighting at that particular time is just not a good idea. And wow, once again, Death Prophet without buyback. This is the same exact problem we saw last game. You buy a big ticket item and then you're suddenly unable to defend your base. This could be a huge opportunity for TT.
Yeah, I mean, probably the best that they can ask for, although they don't have Mass Serpent Wars, so the push won't be as fast. Melee racks have been just reaching to full by now as well. Sasu, of course, they still have to go through the Wraith King, who is pretty damn tanky, although, man, E-Blade Dagon probably will be able to take it. Oh, but they get the stun, the BKB activated from Sasu. Mystic there, a little bit too late, BKB from Yalexin in return. Now the Dagon, the kills of the Skywrath Mage, he's on the run as Hex, goes onto the Tidehunter. Will they turn it around though? Oh, the Ravage comes out! They need to get the Alexis, they need to get him now. Wraithfire Blast as well, nice force step to try to kite him around. The Cogs as well, he's still alive! Oh, those Cogs.
Those are beautiful Cogs. Fury does pay the price as he does get shredded by the Wraith King and the Tidehunter. But saving the Tinker with those Cogs, that's as good as you can get. B5 do make the defense ultimately, but it could have gone a lot worse for TT.
Yeah, it most certainly could, but like I said as well, the defense was made by B5 at the moment already. So I guess they're not too distraught about that. Although Ravage was used as well, it's on cooldown for another 2 minutes almost. Exorcism though is up. So do they just go 5-man now? TT, they do have buybacks on every single one of their heroes though.
Yeah, they need to kill off this Tinker because, well, even if they do, he has buyback. So this Tinker is going to be a nuisance pretty much no matter what. The Wraith King does have 2 more big items that he can get in the Mjolnir and then whatever he wants to replace the Hand of Midas with. But you can see he jumped into that fight and actually wasn't able to do that much damage because everyone was just running away from him. He needs something like a Basher and Abyssal Blade, or dare I even say Scotty, in order to keep up to his targets and actually do some damage to them. Otherwise, he's going to be the victim of cogs again.
Yeah, I mean, I actually was a little bit afraid that the Tinker might get caught himself as well in the power cogs, but was just there, and no, he picks himself up a Sacred Relic. It's most likely going to be Abyssal. I highly doubt that he's going to go for Divine Rapier in this game, at least not yet still. But, I mean, if he's going to go for the Abyssal, it's going to be an excellent pickup. Like you also mentioned, he needs something to be able to lock down the people and just not get kited around completely. And yeah, it's going to be the Basher purchased. As I saw some other item pickup on somebody. I'm not even too sure who it was now.
Bloodstone
oh
on
yeah,
Tinker?
it was the Brewmaster Shivas.
Alright, so we got Shivas on Brewmaster, Bloodstone on the Tinker, BKB on Clockwork. It looks like that's about it for the TT side. And aside from that most recent pickup of the now Abyssal Blade from the Wraith King and the recent Shivas from Death Prophet, that's about it for them, as Durham is once again going to get caught out. He's going to jump really deep into the trees and teleport out. Mystic Flare, oh, just barely off the mark, teleporting just in between the 2 trees. Man, that doesn't make any sense, but Mirana does get to escape, and bottom lane is being pressured. There's going to be wards deployed for this one. Just doing a little bit of chip damage to the tower. The Shadow Shaman can't actually kill off this tower, but hey, it's you're not doing anything with those Serpent wards anyway.
Yeah, it's, I mean, just getting some damage is better than none, I guess. Rat Dota in the making. How long can the Rat do? And oh, Roshan, it's about to respawn in only 15 seconds time. Can the dire side once again just get that and have a huge advantage? Or will TT? I mean, last time they snagged the cheese, and actually getting the cheese might have been a huge factor in just deciding the next team fight. If the Death Prophet, for example, had himself a cheese to work with, it would be so extremely hard to kill him twice, even with the burst of the Tinker. So, next Roshan might just decide the game.
Yeah, the cheese was used in the top fight when they were B5 were fighting with 3. The Clockwork was dropping very low to the exorcism, but he did pop the cheese, so that's when it was consumed, and it did ultimately help the TT side secure a kill. So they're all going to go into that Roshan pit, but instantly the flare is going to fly. No secrets any longer. Where is the Wraith King? He is pushing mid. You should probably go help out your team because they can't kill Roshan without you, Wraith King. So yeah, they'll have to worry about top lane where there's a double damage Mirana. He's doing a whole 162 damage a pop, terrifying amounts of damage from her, but they're going to converge. Martian Machine's going to start to be set up from this Tinker. If he gets caught with the Wraithfire Blast, it could spell doom, but he found himself a regeneration rune. It doesn't get much better than that. He will get hit with the Wraithfire Blast. No, he's going to dodge it with the BKB. Now the Abyssal Split Blade, though, is not actually doing anything. Fury's going to jump in as the Brewmaster going to go for Supreme, but the Cog's not really working out in their favor. There's a Dragon Blast going to kill off the Death Prophet immediately. In the meantime, it's the Tidehunter up into the air, and the Wraith King trying to retreat. The Blacks Enchantress bought a whole bunch of creeps with her, so taking a lot of damage there, and Fury going to catch up with the shock from Munkin. Needs another Hex, and there it is with the long-range Cog catch. They will be able to bring down Blacks on top of the Death Prophet. Sasu and Tidehunter are both going to come in for a Ravage. The Ravage will hit onto everyone, but it might be a little bit too late. Sasu now going to go to town onto Fury. No, going to change his mind, go for the Tinker. They can't kill him down. The Shiva's going to slow him down just enough, and Tinker with the laser is going to juke out from Unidin's Concussive Shot. Fury, though, dropped pretty low. He's Ancient Sealed, and he can't get out, but to jump in from the Tinker once again, going to unleash another Dying Blast, will kill off the Tidehunter. Now Unidin, Supreme, and Sasu can try to kill off Dota. The Tinker is completely tapped out of mana, though, so he has to retreat. TT, they lose a whole bunch of heroes. B5, though, they lose the range racks in the meantime. It could have gone a lot worse for B5, though. I mean, they do survive with the Wraith King, and they do not take out the Tinker, though, so it's going to be a free Roshan for them, but at the end of the day, the fight is relatively even.
Yeah, there was a buyback on the Death Prophet, which actually didn't have straight away when he died. He needed, like, I don't even know how much extra gold, but some of it. So if he had been able to buy back just 100% immediately after he died, might have gotten even more out of the fight, especially if he had gotten there for the time of the Ravage. But Roshan still went for them. Exorcism is going to be on cooldown, but I think they're fine with it. And Brave King, I mean, he's just doing so much damage now that his Abyssal Blade is actually finished. It's a proper damage item, 100 damage. Just the ability to lock down the Tinker. Even waste 2 seconds of his BKB is always going to be worth it. And Tinker, he's down to 6 seconds of it. So he has to be careful. At least he has 11 Bloodstone charges, so even if he dies, his respawn timer is going to be just that much faster.
I love how this Mirana has been not playing with her team for the entire game. Like, she's been pushing up top, as we do see Enchantress fighting the dust up down on bottom. Tinker unleashing the full combo there. No surprises. Enchantress not tanky enough to withstand that. But Tinker finding a pick here and there, not ultimately going to lead to anything without the rest of his team. But yeah, Mirana, just being a general nuisance up on top. She's still doing, like, literally no damage because she only has a Force Staff. But someone for B5 is always forced up there, especially now that the range racks have been taken. They're going to look for the Wraith King. In fact, they're going to get the Hex off onto Sasu. Where's the Shackle? There's the Shackle and the E-Blade combo. Dagon to finish him off, and now they're going to go in for round 2. Moonlight Shadow is going to pop in the blink out from Wraith King. It's a minute where the Reincarnation's down, so it's a really small window, but it is a window nonetheless.
Yeah, it's better than nothing, although I'm not entirely sure they're going to be able to just make use of that window. It's 40 seconds now already. And Tinker, since he doesn't have any space for a Soul Ring anymore, what? Sasu, he blinked him, but the Blink Hex comes out from Wacken. BKB, oh, BKB actually into the Primal Split. I don't know if that was actually necessary. Sasu, they get him, or can they bring him now? The BKB activated, it's going to go for Fury, who is reasonably tanky, Force Staffs himself out, Shadow Shaman, he goes down in the end, Sasu. He is just life-stealing back up, gonna kill the Brewmaster, one more right, nope, he actually blinks in, they get the stun into the Tinker, 4-step through. Oh, Tinker, you cannot die here. Absolutely, you must survive. Nice arrow, but the Abyssal Blade onto the Alexen. Gonna get cashed up. Mystic Flare on top of his head. He goes down. He has buyback. But this was a huge fight for B5. They almost brought down Sasu. Almost, but he just turned it around. BKB activated. And lifestealed himself back to full.
B5, they use the cheese in that exchange, but still hold on to the Aegis. And it just shows how much of a late game hero Wraith King can actually be. He was stuck in the cogs with a Earth Panda and I believe one other hero, so not much damage going his way, and Tinker kind of had his hands full, so he couldn't unleash another E-Blade combo onto Sasu. The lifesteal from this Wraith King's Vampora is seriously a lot of life for this Wraith King. So 2600 HP, not the tankiest hero in the world as far as HP amounts, but he's getting so much effective HP due to the fact that he's doing so much damage with every hit. It's like, what, 300 damage a pop and 30%? That's 90 heal every single time he hits, outside of armor. And, well, with that opening, they're going to force the buyback for some people, or at least try to. Scream going to get hit with a pretty hard E-Blade blast. BKB from Tinker going to unleash round number 2 onto that Death Prophet. That's going to be the Aegis down. You go for round number 3. He has enough mana to do so. E-Blade Dagon, or rather Dagon E-Blade that time, and now jump forward for another time, but he's going to get stunned up. Sasu, though, will get Hex up instantly. There's no Ravage from this Tide Hunter, but they're going to go straight for this Tinker. He's going to force that up to High Ground Fury. Going to try to trap Sasu in the cogs. Not going to do much work for him, as Munkin does run off to the side. This Wraith King still very much so alive. Death Prophet regenerating fairly quickly now with that Heart of Tarrasque. Has an extra stun up in 10 seconds. They're going to go straight for the melee racks. No split pushing for PT. They're going to jump forward for Mew to Dota, but the Brewmaster not going to last long. They need to focus the Tinker. He's going to try to go for a black, but he gets silenced and Mystic Flare. Gets Force Staff out of it, however. He will survive for a little while longer. Big crit and one more hit. That's the death of the Tinker. He will buy back instantly, however. Brewmaster still causing a little bit of havoc, but really against Sasu, we can't really do that much. Now Supreme going to get shackled up by Munkin. E-Blade combination will kill off the Death Prophet, but the Sasu Wraith King still going ham onto everyone. The Tinker cleaning out all the supports in the back end will now unleash the combo onto Sasu. Has another combination shortly. Sasu trying to blink out, not going to happen. He's going to try to TP now. They don't think that's going to happen either. It's a godlike streak going the way of the Brewmaster. B5, what is their buyback status? They have buyback on, no on the Death Prophet, but yes on everyone else. It's another opening for TT, but again, it's a very small one.
Yes. Man, this Tinker, after the buyback, he just came in and started blowing up everybody, like literally. That it's such a sick ability, and he's already off to the top lane, pushing out the melee racks. I mean, the creeps are going to do most of it. A Bloodstone, actually he's now picked up on the Skywrath Mage as well. Getting some extra mana pool, I guess. But, oh, Arrow, they catch the Tide Hunter. Can they get the kill as well? Yuta, he's there. Shiva's card activated, Thunderclap, but Pipe comes out. The silence just the slows. And that's a fresh BKB now. Finished for the Tinker. 10 seconds. Melee racks. They will fall down. A few more right clicks. Sturm. He's forced to leap out. Almost goes down, but Yuta, he wants to make sure to finish it up the chat. What? Man, Tinker, stop blowing people up. He might go down on Sasu. No. He BKB blinks out. Yuta gets the blink after getting the racks. So, this game is just far from over, it looks like.
52 minutes in, and we have the first set of racks being taken. That's extraordinarily long in any game, really, and will still B5 even though they're down that Rax. They have a Mjolnir Wraith King, so he's going to be able to clear out the creeps pretty quickly, and now I would say he is just about 6 slotted. I don't know if you get anything else, or get rid of the Blink Dagger or anything like that. Maybe get a new BKB later on, but I think Wraith King is pretty much topped out, whereas the Tinker, he's been topped out for quite a long time, so as far as item progression goes, these heroes are pretty much 6 slotted.
Yeah, I guess Tinker, he really doesn't want to give out the Blink, I think. He might have to at some point, although... What's his next item even gonna be here? Oh, or I guess he doesn't have a Hex, does he?
The Tinker, no. Bottle for Hex, definitely.
So, he has at least something to go for. Even leaves the BKB behind completely at the moment just to split push. Knows he's not gonna be fighting, although... If a surprise were to wait for him, he would be doomed just not having the BKB with him. And in the meantime, Supreme on the Death Prophet just purchases himself finally up a BKB as well. He's had enough of just getting E-Blade Dagon.
Yeah, she has 30 armor, which is a huge amount of physical resistance, but there is actually no physical damage coming out from the TT side. It's almost all the damage that's being dealt is this Tinker. So B5, I like what the Tidehunter has done. They pick up a Scythe of Vice in order to try to lock down this Tinker just a little bit more. If you stop the Tinker in his whenever he's in his ethereal form, if you stop him while he's rearming, then you could easily bring him down with the physical damage that they themselves have. But if that doesn't happen, the Tinker is going to run rampant among the team. So still the Rax has been taken, and it looks like this game is going to stall out for a little longer.
Yeah, but... I guess Tidehunter's Hex might be a just game-changing item as well. They need something to lock down the Tinker and just kill him off immediately. And Tinker, he doesn't have a buyback for another 2.5 minutes. So if they got the kill within that time frame, it just might be their easy opening. But of course, they need enough heroes alive after the fact as well. Gem even picked up by the Tidehunter now. This game is just... The Tinker, such a cancerous hero. These games don't end with that hero unless the team with the Tinker is just winning.
Yeah, or the Tinker makes just a huge mistake. And so far, we actually haven't seen many huge mistakes at all from the Tinker. Like, none instantly spring to mind. This Tinker's been playing pretty safely. He's been on point with his blinks, hasn't been teleporting into any suicidal situations. So, as long as the Tinker keeps playing like this game is going to be, as much as I hate to say it, going on for at least another 10 minutes, I want to say. As long as everyone has buybacks as well. The Death Prophet does not have a buyback. She did buy up a BKB. The Wraith King doesn't have his for another 3 minutes. So this could be a nice opening for TT if they take a decent fight here, since they do have the buyback advantage.
Yeah, it might be possible for them. Of course, man, it's going to be so hard anyway, but Turum, he has a sheepstick of his own, the Mirana. So all his split pushing has been just to get that one item.
5-second arrow will connect on the Tidehunter, but I don't think they want to go in for this one. Did they leap in? Yeah, they leapt in. To lay an Observer Ward down. Gotta get that ward down if you're Mirana.
Yeah, they probably saw the arrow landing, but Makan, look at his positioning. He's waiting for the Tinker to come in, and with the two of them, well, they can definitely kill Uniden. There's no doubt about that, even with him having the Bloodstone down to 5 charges now as it is. But killing Sazu twice is just gonna be a tall order, even for the Tinker. He just mana pool might not even support all those nukes.
The Shadow Shaman, though, he is looking for kills, which is the correct thing to do in this scenario. He needs his Aghanim so that he could feasibly go for a little bit of backdoor action. If you get Refresher Orb and Aghanims, you could bring down Raxes so very easily. Aghanims, it does help just a lot in doing that by itself. Refresher just adds a cherry to that cake, but he's a little bit away from that. And I think going for backdooring, if you're TT, is one of the best win conditions that you actually have, since otherwise you're just hopefully reliant on your Tinker to make a good team fight to happen. Playing a ratty role with the Tinker and the Shadow Shaman, that's seems like a pretty good way to go.
Yeah, I mean, they were able to get the range racks with that, and thanks to the range racks advantage, the top lane was just constantly pushing in while B5 was occupied elsewhere. So Rat definitely has gotten them this far already, I think, so just continue what you've been doing. And the Aghanims might boost the Rat enough. Oh, Supreme is not going to be fast enough with the Shiva's card expansion there. So Makan blinks out to the safety of the trees, but he's not even going to leave there. He's just going to hang around, keep on pushing out the lane, while the other lanes are pushed in by other heroes. So Rat is the name of the game.
This is certainly going to be one of those resident sleeper games where we just wait for something to happen as looks like, well, there might be a refresher orb coming from the Brewmaster. Don't know if there's going to be a refresher orb ever on the Tidehunter. Going for Scythe is a big ticket item that will slow down any other big ticket item, and although he is sitting at 2,100 gold, a lot of that is reserved for buyback. So it looks like the items from these non-cores pretty much all but stopped. Scythes of Eyes on all the non-cores is going to be what everyone wants to do, really, as they do get a pick off on the Mirana. Got caught up by the Wraith King once again. It's a Mirana, who cares, really? So they each need as many Scythes as they could possibly get, and they actually found Fury, forcing the BKB out. It's not a big deal again.
Yes, also actually just blink Abyssal Blade, like 2 right clicks, Rafer Blast, 1 right click, and easy kill on the Mirana, but you just hit it right on the spot. Who cares? It's his support Mirana. Yes, he has the Hex, but like literally, they need to get the Tinker, and that's about it. Maybe if they can kill the Brewmaster even now, especially if he's actually gonna get that Refresher Orb, it might be a worthy pick as well, but it's another Roshan, 60 minutes in. It's the 5th Roshan, I think.
Yeah, that sounds about right. 5 Roshes.
I mean, there have been definitely at least 2 cheeses, so this will be the 3rd now. Oh man, this game has gone on for way too long, man, way too long.
This like secret agent Shadow Shaman business, I have no idea why he's here, but he's definitely over there. Like, there's no opportunity to backdoor, since backdoor protection will kick in, your Serpent Ward will just be wasted, but once again, going for the Roshan, there's 6,000 gold in the Wraith King. He should buy himself a fresh BKB just because he can. And, well, who's the Aegis going to go on? Blacks is ready for something. Aegis on the Enchantress, perhaps? Someone? Aegis on the Skywrath. Cheese on the Enchantress. Okay.
Well, Blacks does need mana to just provide himself with extra impetus. Do you think he might go Mask of Madness next, or is he just too suicidal up against the Tinker?
Yeah, the attack speed is nice for Mask of Madness, but taking more damage at this stage isn't really what you want to have happen. Just a Hyperstone would be fine, like, even if you don't build it into anything else. If you want attack speed, you get that item. I don't think there's anything... maybe an Orchid, if you also want to go that route, wouldn't be too terrible. But definitely buyback is #1 priority, and B5, they're tired of waiting. They're going to make something happen. Moonlight Shadow has been popped, and you can't really go into this many marches. It's just not going to happen. They're going to spot out Fury, or Fury's going to spot out them. B5 looking for an opening, but unless they just YOLO Blink to the high ground, I don't think they're going to find it. YOLO Blink to the high ground it is. Instantly going for the melee racks. And there's a quick shot in for Fury, as Yudo does jump in for the split, but already the Tidehunter dropping pretty low, holding onto his Ravage Shield. He does pop off the mechanism for his team. The BKB is up on the Tinker, and he's being worked down by Sasa, but taking not enough damage. Supreme the Exorcism is going to be just fine with that Heart survivability. The Ravage is finally going to come, but it only hits onto 2 heroes in the end. Death Prophet up into the air. She's getting focused down by this Tinker. It looks like the arrow will connect on her as well. That should be the death of Supreme, as it will be. She's down for 99 seconds. Still, though, this Wraith King going ham in the enemy base. The Serpent Wards acting as another tower. The Rax are still alive, and the Wraith King will slip out of there successfully. There's a buyback from the Death Prophet, and they smoke simply to retreat, to cover their top lane, rather. TT, they make a very nice defense. The question is, can they make anything happen? Hook shot onto the Tinker's back isn't a good way to start. That would have hit onto at least one person if Tinker didn't jump forward.
Yeah, that would have been huge if they had gotten at least 1, maybe 2 kills there. I guess killing off the Death Prophet and forcing a buyback was kind of good enough, but the Exorcism isn't cool enough for another 55 seconds. But I guess so is the Primal Split. Wraith King finally purchases that new BKB as well. And to be honest, Sazu, to me it felt a little bit like he didn't know who to hit, or had some miss, just micro or I don't know what, because he went in, he Abyssal Bladed the Tinker, but after that he right clicked a couple of times, I think, on a Bruling, the Earth Panda, then just went for the ranged racks for a little while as well, and then started to go back to the Tinker, but by then already his BKB had worn off, and he got thrown up in the air with the Storm Panda.
Everyone has to get a little bit of damage. That way you could kill them all with 1 lightning strike, right? I don't know. Generally, I would say for B5, it's 100% focus the Tinker. And then when you're done focusing the Tinker, focus the Tinker some more, because he's going to buy back. There's really nothing else that's threatening to them. Like, the Brewmaster split, at this point, is not doing that much damage. The biggest part of the split is that they get 2 disables, in the Cyclone and the Rock. And of course, you know, Drunken Haze and stuff like that, which is also a pretty big deal. But that's really the largest issue that B5 has to deal with outside of the Tinker, is just the Cyclone and the Rock.
Yeah, man, just there's probably not too much point to actually looking into the graphs, but it is almost a 6,000 gold lead for B5, which is almost nothing. 12,000 XP as well, but even that, 63 minutes into the game, looking at the hero levels, actually not too many heroes are 25, 4 of them, almost 5. So I guess almost half. Doesn't really happen too often. At least I don't see it too often. So, this game, TT, they are grouped up on the top side as well. They want to push in, and with the Mass Serpent Wars level 3 Aghanim Scepter, they can potentially even just pressure tier 4s, although probably tier 3s plus Raxes are choosier targets. But they can only do so on the bottom lane.
What are your thoughts on bringing out the Divine Rapier in this game if you're Sasu? Is it getting to that time yet, or not quite?
To be honest, it might, but if you replace your Blink Dagger, can you actually afford to just run in all the way? Or
Yeah,
what
know.
else could you replace? I guess Mjolnir doesn't do all that much, although attack speed is nice, but...
I don't know what
You
he's
need
going
more
to
item
be.
slots.
Yeah, he needs to spend 5,000 gold to buy a 7th item slot. Sounds balanced to me, because he needs more damage at this point. Like, he's trying to get a kill on Tinker, but Tinker's actually really tanky with the Bloodstone that he has, and Wraith King just not delivering enough damage, even though he does have that crit. And if he sold a Blink Dagger, he wouldn't be able to look for opportunities like this, like trying to stalk the Tinker and try to catch him by surprise. I don't know. This game is fairly stalled out now, and well, at least it's best of 2, so they don't have to play a 3rd game after this.
Oh yeah, indeed. And I would just bang my head against the wall a little bit then, but... If this continues like this, it's kind of a stalemate. Yes, one Rax is down, but B5 doesn't seem to care too much about it. I mean, I also casted the longest game in Dota history, like 2+ hours, but oh, they leap in, they get the Hex as well, will it be enough? Where's the burst damage to follow up? Tinker, he gets it, BKB activated from Death Prophet, Hex up in return as well, but Death Prophet is so low he has to back all the way back to base. Thank God he didn't actually activate the Exorcism, but Tidehunter, are they gonna lose his life as well? I mean, the Kraken should help out a little bit, Arrow misses as well, but he's gonna get quite around, he pops the Ravage, Sasu, he's gonna come back in, Tinker completely out of mana, can he escape? He has enough for a TP out. He should be safe. Exorcism is there. Sasu, Blink in, Thunderclap, Refresher or Primal Split, number 2 to come, and Supreme. He's actually on the run, thrown up in the air by himself. I think the Kiilstofte. He needs to go down. Nope, cheese popped, back to full HP all of a sudden. Just mini hack in the making as Fury. Power Cogs down, Sasu can't get through them. Blink in. Yes, he's gonna kill a Fury as well. Gets the stun, but now Yalexen, he's there. They're gonna get Sasu. It's only the first death though. They need to get a little bit extra. Yalexen though. BKB activated. Sasu down to half HP. Rearm. The hookshot as well. They get it. They get down the Wraith King. He has buyback, of course. Yalexen though. Can he get on Uniden? One more right click. Aegis is down. Enchantress kills a Clockwork in the meantime, and Yalexen out of mana. Don't think he can escape this. He has buyback though, so actually TP Mystic Flare, man. E-Blade into Mystic Flare.
That looked like a really bad fight for B5 to start things out. I mean, the Tidehunter was kind of awkwardly ahead of the rest of the team, and of course they started off with the Death Prophet, dropping very, very low before the fight even got going. But the Tinker, though he did do a lot of damage, was forced into the base like halfway through that fight just to restore his mana. And Brewmaster, he did literally everything he could. Like there were so many people being thrown up into the air, and I didn't get a good look at the Drunken Haze because it's such a subtle animation, but I'm sure he was throwing that as well. But no one else from the TD side can actually do anything at this point. Like, they're literally all just dead heroes. Literally, Mirana got Wraithfire blasted and then killed in 2 hits. So it's like, I guess you distract the Wraith King a little bit, but at this point, it's just a whole bunch of fodder with Brewmaster Tinker versus the Wraith King Death Prophet show, and well, ultimately, the fight is not decisive enough for either team in order to push and take another set of Raxes, so we're right back to this part of the game.
Yeah, what I was just trying to say before the fight interrupted is that I actually casted the longest game of Dota with HeflaTV as well, like 2 hours and 15 minutes or something like that, 2 hours, 7 minutes, I don't know, but it was about 2 hours. It actually wasn't too boring at all, although a lot of farming was involved, some flaming as well, by the side that actually had the early advantage but just got turtled out, and then the enemy Ember Spirit was way too huge to be dealt with normally. So, I mean, we are still at least 1 hour away from that part, although with the way this is going, it sort of feels like it might go the distance.
Please, no. Unless these two teams start flaming each other, which I would love to see. Like, ordinarily, I'm completely against them even talking, but I'm all for some flames, and here we go. They're just going to go in for the racks, but Sasuke going to get hit so hard from that E-Blade combination. Does have a reincarnation still. The pipe does get deployed. Dota going to jump right in. Can't get silenced with the BKB. Now the Fury's going to jump in and leave Sasu in the cogs. The Ravage is still from the 500, but he's holding it because everyone's in the BKB for him still. So I think now's about the time to pop it. There it goes. But the Tinker is going to dodge that one as he does blink away. They're going to chase after all the Brew lanes. Sasu can try to get his hands on whoever he can get. He's going to find Fury, and Brewmaster is running off to the south. Gets anchor smashed, but it looks like he will be successfully able to blink out of there. Serpent Wards have been deployed, but TT lose to heroes. Sasu, still with the reincarnation available, wants to go right back into this fight. And TT, they're going to be forced to fight. I think Tinker can annihilate the Wraith King if he just unloads on him. And then he's going to go for Unit instead. Sasu going to change his focus to Dota as he does refresh that ultimate. And now the Mystic Flare on Tinker. If he does die, he does have buyback still. Sasu's going to jump forward, but instantly gets hexed up by Munkin. And he's going to land him in the shackles as well. The Brewmaster going to try to focus down Sasu, but it's going to be the Tinker to do, once again, all the damage. What a surprise there. Munkin's going to get two-shot. No, the miss from the Wraith King as Drunken Haze, making it very difficult for Sasu to hit. But now he's going to go straight for the Brewmaster. Brewmaster's going to die in his split form. The Tinker's the only one to survive, and B5, they haven't lost a single hero yet. They're just going to keep going. Oh, no. Tinker going to jump right in for a Wraithfire Blast and an Abyssal Blade. Buybacks galore as they do get 3 heroes up once again. Jump forward from Muta Dota as Sasuke's going to get the target to focus, but he does not have a reincarnation this time. They're not focusing though. They're going for the Death Prophet instead. They bring down the Death Prophet. They bring down the Wraith King. B5 might have overstayed their welcome. Now Unidon's going to drop to the Tinker. One more Laser Blast or something. He gets silenced up, but one more right click. Not going to do it. Tinker's still chasing that hero out. In the meantime, Tidehunter trying to go 1v2, but they do actually end up bringing down the Tinker in the end. Tinker's down now. Buybacks on the Death Prophet plus the Wraith King. Now they're going to try to go for Munkin. Silence on the Shadow Shaman with the impetus damage from Blacks. He's completely out of mana, but he's still doing a lot of damage. The Creep valiantly taking the hit for Unidin, though he does go down in the end. Where's the Wraith King? Where's the Death Prophet? They're traveling right into this fight. The Clockwork is back. Now he's going to try to go for the Tidehunter. He X's him up from the Death Prophet as Fury, stuck in his cogs, will force staff his way out in BKB, but first hit bash on the Wraith King. They don't have any detection, though. They're going to change their focus, try to go for the tier 4 towers. The Brewmaster doesn't have a split. The Tinker's down. This might be it. This might be it.
I think it is. Tinker, he went a little bit too far. The impetus just coming out from Enchantress did a little bit too much damage that he didn't expect it to come. Didn't get the E-Blade off in time as well. And now BKB on Sasu. It's gonna be GG 70 minutes in. Finally, we have a conclusion to this game, man. Finally.
Okay, guys. I'm really glad that it ended right before you mentioned, right after you mentioned that 2-hour game, because I wouldn't have been on board for that. Just no.
Well, to be honest, I really think like if this Mirana had like any kind of damage at all, they possibly could have done it, but just literally nothing. I mean, having a Hex, but after that, nothing at all.
Alright, guys. Well, that's going to be the end of this series. Honestly, who won game number 1? I'm pretty sure B5 is 2-0, right?
Yes, they are.
Yeah, it was an hour ago. I'm sorry.
So guys, this is going to conclude it for the time being. We're going to have some American Dota coming up tonight. It should be at 3 AM and 2 AM as well. If we can get 2 channels running at the same time, we will see about that. But 2 or 3 AM, American Division 1 about to come out from HeflaTV. So you can just check that out if you want. But if not, you can still follow us on this channel as well as HeflaTV1 and HeflaMoke to know when we're going live with some other games in the future. And of course, most information you can get is going to be on social media, on Facebook, Twitter. It's just HeflaTV for both. The links are below the stream and the VODs directly uploaded to our YouTube as well, youtube.com/HeflaMoke. And man, Mike Glorious, thanks for casting with me. I would have died casting this solo.
Oh yeah, me too. Like at a certain point where it's like an hour in, you're just like, okay, I wonder if I could get a gun and put it to my head anytime soon, because this game just isn't ending. But it's always a pleasure, man. Always a pleasure.
So yeah, this is gonna just wrap it up for us as well. A few songs to finish the stream now, guys, and man, I don't even know what to say anymore. Just have a good evening or morning or afternoon, wherever you may be, and just hopefully to see you once again on HeflaTV another day.
Later, guys. GG.